Oftentimes, the most difficult thing that we can do in the legislature is press the red button, not the green button. There are some elected officials who press the green button 100% of the time, and every idea that we have is not a good idea. Burt Jones has led the charge on school choice. Burt Jones has led the charge on election integrity. We passed a paper ballot bill out of the Georgia State Senate this year under Burt's leadership. Burt Jones has led the charge on pushing back against DEI and what I call the woke industrial complex. And Burt Jones has stood for women in passing the Riley-Gaines Act. There is only one person in the governor's race who can say any of those things. And what you can say about Burt is all of those things. As Donald Trump would say, Burt, you've got my complete and full endorsement. So would you all please join me in welcoming my good friend, Burt Jones.
Appreciate it. Good job.
All right, I hope everybody enjoyed their lunch. Y'all have a good day, and I don't need to follow Greg Dolezal after that. That was pretty good. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Greg is always does a good job, and always been a good friend. And he's running for lieutenant governor, and I'm telling you, he anything Greg does, he's outstanding at doing it. And he's been a great partner, and I greatly appreciate him today in that introduction. It feels a little bit like Easter Sunday. Everybody showed up today, so I mean, every chair is filled. This looks good in here, and with Pastor Chuck there, I thought we were going to hand out do the offering plate after he got done with something. He came up to me earlier. He said that you know, I spoke down at the Senate for you guys earlier this year, and I was trying to place him and everything, and then when he was up here and he was talking about his 7 children, I said, "Yep, I remember him." So, because that catches your attention every time. But I appreciate your message too, Pastor. Appreciate you, Jason. Pleasure to be with you. Appreciate your kind words and congratulations on a great race. Jason worked very hard. Would you have 5 people in that special election? 6. Okay, 6 people. But who's counting? You know, and he won that race. Run off, but. He's going to do a great job. What I like about Jason is he comes from a business background. He ran a very successful trucking and logistics company. And quite frankly, that's what we need more of in elected office. Both Greg and Jason are both business guys, both very successful business guys, and willing to give their time and resources is always key. I can't forget my Mrs. Fulton County herself, my pro tem here. Jan, I never will forget her name, Jan Jones. That's the name of my wife right there. So sometimes my wife will get phone calls from House representatives, you know, and I'm like, "Why is Representative so-and-so calling you?" And it's because they messed up. They called the wrong Jan. But at any rate, Jan does a great job, great friend, and I appreciate you being here today. Lisa, good job getting this group together, and the great turnout here. Always a pleasure to be with you here in this room. I will tell you that I have spoken to this group before, and it's always a good turnout, and I greatly appreciate that. And for those of you who do not know me, I'm Burt Jones. I'm from Jackson, Georgia, born and raised there in Jackson, and still live there today. Married with two children, 16 and 13. And if anybody has any guidance on how to raise a 16-year-old, I'm open to it. So. But they great kids, great wife, and can't say enough things about, because I can tell you right now, if you don't have a spouse that is supportive of you being in public office, it will not be a very friendly household for long. And I know Greg's wife, Natalie, has been a big supporter of him. Also, we have another public servant's wife in the audience today, Miss Chantel Beach. Chantel, wave to him. Her husband, treasurer Brandon Beach, now, as obviously he and I served in the state senate together, and after the President Trump was elected to the second time, Brandon was real interested in potentially getting an appointment, and when he did get his appointment to the Treasury, he came to my office. He's all excited. He goes, "You're not going to believe that President just appointed me to the Treasury. I can't believe it." I go, Beach, what does a treasurer do? And he explained it to me. I go, "Beach, you can't even balance your checkbook, you know?" But I told him, I said, "Look, listen to me on this." I was like, "If you want the the president to you ingratiate yourself to the president, let me tell you what you need to do. When you get up there, you need to go and you got the 250th anniversary coming up, and what you need to do is get a dollar bill or $250 bill made up and put the president's face on it, all right? And then to go to him and say, 'Look, Mr. President, we're going to make these for the 250th anniversary. We're going to auction them off for the Treasury Department. We're only going to make 1,776 of them.'" Right? Sounds like a pretty good idea, right? So Beach did all that. He got to go to the Oval Office. He showed it to the president. Of course, the president loved it, you know. And after Beach got done telling me all about it, I go, "Now, Beach, you told him where that idea came from, didn't you?" He goes, "Oh, no, yeah." Yeah. So anyways, but he's doing a great job, and Chantel's always been a great friend to Jan and myself, and appreciate you being here today, Chantel. So let me tell you, I'm running for governor, and I have served as a lieutenant governor, and I can tell you right now, Greg kind of stole some of my thunder right there, because all the things that he's bragging about are essentially everything that we got done under my 3 years as lieutenant governor. And I tell people the best way to see what somebody's going to do in the future is look what they've done in the past. And I will tell you that after finishing at the University of Georgia, I went back home, started working in a family business there, and it's a multifaceted operation, and we've employed about 2,000 people. And I tell you that because when I got into politics, I wanted to see government run more like a business. And I tell people all the time, look, you won't ever make government run like a business, but you can apply business principles and make it run more efficient and make it be more productive to its citizens of the state. And so in my time as lieutenant governor, I've always tell people I'm a common sense, business-minded person. You know, a lot of times you do have to get into these social fights. Some of them I can't believe that we're actually having them in Georgia, but we've had them. Whether it's talking about DEI, or whether it's talking about boys and girls sports, or whether it's talking about taxpayer dollars paying for trans surgeries for prisoners, if you can believe that. Those are not things when I first got elected to the state senate that I thought I'd be addressing, but those are things that have come up, and we have had to address them. And sometimes they're tough conversations, and you do take a lot of shots and get called every name under the sun, but they're necessary. I think protecting girls' sport is necessary. I think protecting the education quality for our kids is necessary. I think having taxpayer dollars spent on useless surgeries for inmates is necessary. Those are all fights I think need to happen. But at any rate, going back to trying to run it more like a business, I tell people that I've always, in the 3 years I've been lieutenant governor, we've lowered our state income tax all 3 years. And I'd like to see us get to zero. I'd like to see us get to zero, but also on the property tax issue that Greg was talking about 2 years ago in the state senate, we capped it, to be honest with you. We said that counties couldn't go above 3%. And that was one of those, we had a disagreement from the other chamber, and we ended up giving an out clause for communities, and so therefore it didn't happen. But I think there's an appetite to revisit that, because as Greg said earlier, it's the only thing we have where you're taxed on unrealized gains, and that's not right. And so those are issues that we're going to have to do. People say, well, how are you going to get rid of property taxes or cap property taxes and get rid of the state income tax? I was like, these are bold moves. And I was like, and in times like this, I'd rather be on the side of trying to reduce the tax burden on the citizens of the state and the businesses of the state. So those are going to be goals that we will have. Something else that I've always said I've been a big believer in is our educational system. I'm a big believer in public education. My mother was a public school teacher for 25 years, but I'm also a big believer in parents having choices. And because not every school system is a perfect fit for every child. And that was the reason why I was proud that we passed the school choice measure that we did. Had over 10,000 families take advantage here in the state, take advantage of what they call the Promise Scholarship that just went into effect this year. We didn't do one advertisement, didn't promote it at all, but had 10,000 families that thought well enough of it that they wanted to participate in it. And I've already gotten feedback, and it's changing lives right as we speak. But that doesn't mean that you can ignore the public education system. You've got to tend to that as well. And so we will be focused on not only giving parents more options, but improving our public education. And one of the ways I think we can improve it is by implementing more of a workforce development education system. Have what they call college and career academies is something I've been big on. And we have private businesses that we've recruited who help partner with that. And you go into communities where they need, we have a lot of business opportunities, but you don't have enough workers. And we can't import all these workers. So the only way you can satisfy these needs is organically doing it. And that's through your school systems, that's through your technical colleges, that's through your universities. And so that's something that I've been a strong proponent of in the 3 years that I've been as Lieutenant Governor, something I will do as Governor. Public safety is a huge issue. Public safety is something that it was big a few years ago when we had the defund the police. And we had the DAs, a lot of rogue DAs that didn't want to prosecute people. You had one right here in Fulton County. I think I'm on her Christmas list, believe it or not. But we put in measures to go after rogue DAs. We also put in measures to strengthen criminal activity, drug activity, repeat offenders, making stiffer penalties on repeat offenders, as well as getting rid of cash bail, which is obviously, those you don't know, is where they just arrest somebody, process them, and put them back out on the street. We got rid of that in my time as Lieutenant Governor. And last but not least, regulatory guidelines. Something I did a few years ago was present red tape rollback. Well, that thing, it had bipartisan support when we called it red tape rollback. We didn't get it all, we got it through the Senate, didn't get it all the way through both chambers, but the next year we came back and rebranded it. We called it Georgia Doge. All our Democrats left us, believe it or not. So sometimes it's never necessarily bad policy. It's how you sell it, and obviously those same representatives or senators who were for it when it was red tape rollback, they switched it just because of the optics from their side. Now I will tell you this. Now everybody wants to act like what kind of leader I am, and whether or not I'm not one of those. I will tell you this. I was proud of a lot of things that we've got done, whether it's on school choice or at the university system where the DEI stuff that was going on. They told me, I never will forget, somebody from the university system told me, we can't just unwind this. We got $100 million invested in this. I said, well, I'll help you with that. I'll just take $100 million out of your budget. Then you figure out how to do it. And they figured it out. But I will tell you this, of all these things, measures that we're talking about, whether talking about these issues that are hardcore Republican issues, whether we're talking about a tort system or school choice or talking about the DEI programs or whatever, under my leadership in the Senate, every one of those measures had bipartisan support. Every one of them had bipartisan. That we had Democrats cross over and vote. And it was because that I tell people all the time, I'm easy to work with. I'm very easy to work with. I'm not very easy to push around. But I am good at negotiating deals with people, and I am good at getting people to a point where they feel comfortable in voting for things. And I think that's key when you're looking at the governor of your next state. You want somebody who's going to be strong. You want somebody who's going to have a common sense and have a business mind and have core principles that they're for. But you also want to have somebody who can reason and get along with folks and also be a strong leader, but be a fair leader at the same time. And that's what I've always tried to do in business. That's what I've always tried to do in politics. And I've been pretty successful with doing that way. Now, you're not going to see me out here on the social media platforms, grandstanding and things of that nature. I'm just not that. That's just not my personality. But what you will have in somebody like me is you will have a leader that you can count on. You will have one that you can trust, and you will have one who will follow through on what they tell you they're going to do. And I think that's very important. That is the reason why I have the support of our great president, Donald J. Trump. Right? And yeah, you can clap for that. Yeah. And I'm probably one of the only people in the country, probably the only one that when our governor and our president weren't getting along very well, I'm the only one that could have a conversation with both of them at the same time. And because even though I like all my friends to be friends, and sometimes that doesn't work, and but you can't let those personalities get in the way of your relationships with those people. And somebody asked me the other day, Greg knows this story well, said, how'd you get the president's endorsement? I said, well, I called him and asked him. I got past all the gatekeepers, and now I'll tell you right now, this is how impressive he is. I could call any one of course they're shut down right now, so you definitely wouldn't get an answer right now, but I could call one of any 20 federal departments right now. I could call any congressional person that you want to name right now. I pick it up and I call them, and I bet they wouldn't answer the phone, right? Well, the President of the United States, one day at 5:30 in the afternoon, he probably didn't have anything going on that day. I call him, the second ring, he answers the phone, And I said, Mr. President, how are you doing today? Burt, how are you doing? You're the greatest. And I said, I just qualified to go run for governor of the state of Georgia. And before I could get out, he goes, oh, you're going to make a great governor. I'm going to endorse you myself. It's going to be the most fantastic endorsement ever. I'm going to write it myself. I'll do it. You don't worry about it. You're going to be great. It's going to be awesome. And I said, he goes, when do you want me to do it, Burt? And I go, tonight would be great. So he did that, but I do greatly appreciate him giving me that endorsement. And while his endorsement is huge, don't get me wrong, I do appreciate his endorsement, and I appreciate all the sheriffs across the state who endorsed me. I appreciate folks like Greg and Jason and all the legislators in both the House and the Senate who endorsed me. All those are great, and local folks. The support has been overwhelming. But I will tell you right now, we can't win this race. We can't win 26 without people like you here in this room. And we can't win it without people like you using your sphere of influence. And because everybody has it. I never will forget, I was talking to a little lady that was been in the Republican Party a long time. And she said, I can't help you out monetarily, and I just don't have a whole lot of contacts. I said, well, tell me about your week every week. She said, well, I play bridge on Thursday, and I go to church on Wednesdays. And she started naming off all these things. I said, well, there's your influence right there. All those people you play bridge with, or go to church with, or have civic groups with, whatever it might be, your family, your friends, everybody. That's how you can help us here. And that's how people like are in this room can help folks like us who are running. When you're going around the state, when you're going in your communities and the conversation about governor comes up in 26, I hope that you will say Burt Jones is our guy. Burt Jones is our guy because, number one, he's got a track record. So we know what he's all about from a legislative standpoint, but also more important than that is that he's got a business background, and he's the only person running that knows what it's like to sign the front of a check. He's the only person running that knows what it's like to have to make payroll, have to take risk. And nobody else can say that. And so I've got the legislative background, I got the business background, and here's one for you right here. I'll leave you with this one because I can leave you on a good note here. I'm the only one who's actually born and raised in the great state of Georgia. Yeah. Got one who's born in Michigan, and the other one was born in Toronto, Canada. Wants to be governor of the state. Trump would call that's a foreign national right there. So, but I appreciate you being here today. I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you, and I look forward to seeing y'all on the campaign trail. And y'all have a great rest of the day, and God bless. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.